It is so good to see each and every one of you. And welcome to our annual conference convention of our association. First, it's most important to thank our major sponsors for that wonderful 50th year celebration bash last night. So I'd really like to thank Unilever, Wells Blue Bunny, and the Mars Corporation. Thank you very much. Our association is vibrant, it's healthy, and it's going forward. We've made a lot of changes, and those changes could not have been made without the dedication and hard work of our board. And I'd like each of our board members who are wearing a bright dark blue jersey to please stand right now. Please stand. Thank you, board. You know, sometimes things don't go as planned. And last night we had planned two things that didn't necessarily go the way we wanted, but it ended up being really good. First, there was the new member reception. We had intended for all of our new members to come in, get hooked up with an ambassador, which was going to be a board member, and the ambassadors are going to introduce the new members to all of us. So since that didn't happen, and it didn't happen because we were so eager to see each and every one of you, we just opened up the door and said, everybody come in. And I'm glad we did. We had a great party. But for you new members, I'd like you all to just please stand up right now. If you're a new member, this is your first time here, please just stand up. Thank you for being here, and we all encourage you to get engaged, dig in. You can get as much out of this association as you want, but you'll get nothing if you don't put everything into it. You're here to learn, here to do good business, have fun, meet friends, and there you go. In addition to our major sponsors, we had a lot of other people that reached into their pockets to help us. And they're listed here, and this list is a representation of manufacturers, distributors, suppliers, brokers, friends, family, and the list goes on beyond what's depicted here. So thank you very much to all of our sponsors. One of the things that we also intended to do last night was to have a special ceremony inducting one of our special members into a special group called the Hall of Fame. And helping us do this is Nick Nabat and a few others. So I'd like to have the members of this presentation committee come to the podium at this time. Tom? Who else is Chris? Huss, if you guys just stand behind me for a sec. And Jay's going to go first, after Nick. You don't get into the Hall of Fame just by showing up. You don't get into the Hall of Fame just by being a member or being in this industry for 20 or 30 years. You do, however, get into this very, very special group of people by dedicating yourself to doing the right thing, not only for the company you work for, but for the industry and, in particular, this association. So it's my distinct honor to introduce the presentation group that's going to induct our member, Alan Drazen, into the Hall of Fame. Nick Nabat.
Good morning. This year's IAICDV Hall of Fame inductee is Alan Drazen, aka Mr. Choco Taco. In the sake of conserving time, I'm just going to skip my note because we don't have really that much time, but I just read the IAICDV Hall of Fame mission statement. The Hall of Fame is inductee is chosen not by the virtue of their personal success and achievements. Rather, they are chosen for their significant contribution to this association and ice cream industry at large. And having known Alan for the past 30 years, both as a friend and as a colleague, I could simply say that Alan exemplifies, signifies, and truly fulfills this statement. Mr. J. Schwartz.
Thank you. I don't know if Bruce would allow me to say one word before I talk about Alan. I just want to say I think that this meeting this year, this association, has been run so well, and I think that the board deserves a great hand, and Bruce especially, for running this board the way it was this year. Now, Mr. Alan Drazen. I'll tell you how I met him. 44 years ago, a Sunday, I was working around 2 o'clock, getting ready to close, and the phone rings. Who is it? I said, my name is Alan Drazen. I work for the Good Humor Company, and I need dry ice. We sold dry ice. So I said, Alan, I'm almost ready to close. He said, can you wait? I said, all right, I'll wait for you. That was probably one of my better decisions in my life. Anyway, Alan came down, we talked for a while, and he said, I'm leaving Good Humor at the end of the season. And I said, you have another job? He said, no. I said, well, why don't you come and see me when the season's over? I said, I think I might have something good for you. So anyway, Alan came to us, and of course, he's still here today, 44 years later. So it was a good move on my part, a good move on his part. Alan is more than just an employee. I want you all to know that. Alan's a special person. He got me involved in golf. He got me involved in horseback riding. He got me involved in this. We traveled all over the country. Anytime we needed Alan to do something, he was there. For this committee, what he has done for the last 42 years, I think he's been here. I don't think you've missed a meeting, have you, Alan? Where are you? I don't think you've missed any meetings. So let's say he's been here about 42 years. And what he's done on all the committees, we couldn't ask for more. So I just wanted to say, Alan, we thank you with Jack and Jill. I thank you personally for everything you've done here. And this association thanks you a lot. You are certainly one of the most deserving people for this award. They get have congratulations. Thank you.
Members, guests, and especially you, Alan. My father, Tom Renwald Sr., prepared this, and I'm going to give this on his behalf. Alan Drazen has often contributed his services to the association. I was present at one of Alan's very special accomplishments. There was a desperate situation. The association was contacted by a member for assistance in fighting the passage of an ordinance that would ban street vending in a major suburb of Chicago. The association secured Alan's gracious acceptance of the challenge, and he flew to Chicago. Alan, upon arrival, was informed that the matter was already in its second reading, at which no public participation was allowed. Alan's request to speak before this issue was decided and denied. Alan began a verbal campaign for an opportunity to speak. Security was contacted. They were ready to throw him out, but they finally relented. In hindsight, it has since become apparent to me that when they seated Alan the 5 minutes to speak, the game was over. The council did not know who they were dealing with. Alan proceeded to arouse the local citizens who filled the courtroom to enthusiastically support street vending. The result of Alan's presentation was a 5-0 vote to kill the new ordinance. What a remarkable achievement. Alan was met on arrival with an absolute brick wall-like resistance. Nobody was allowed to speak. The councilmen had all pre-decided the outcome, and they were poised to vote the vending ban into law. Alan's negotiating prowess, his persistence, and his clever arguments overcame everything. Watching Alan negotiate and eventually win was watching a master at work. Alan Drazen's masterful performance that day was worthy of his elevation to the Hall of Fame.
Good morning, everybody. It's an absolute tremendous honor to be up here having a small opportunity to recognize Alan Drazen. And if you've known Alan like I have, and so many of you have, you know how extremely well-deserved this award is. If we had time, I could give you 5 or 6 personal stories of significant work that Alan has done on our behalf that has pioneered our industry to where we're at. I want to share one because I just don't have enough time to share them all. But I think it's very relevant to where we're at now. I think it's very relevant to everything the board is working on currently. And it goes back to a time when this association was called the International Association of Ice Cream Vendors. And there was a pivotal, and I mean an absolute pivotal decision in our history to decide over whether distributors, as members, would be formally included. Now, I could ask every distributor in this room to stand up, and we could all see the fact that we're all distributors. But at that particular time, flashing back in history, this was not a clear-cut decision. There was significant, passionate beliefs on both sides. People felt that we had a heritage. People felt we had a future. The vote was certainly 50-50, perhaps 60-40 against. I remember being in the room, and I can remember thinking, I don't know if it's a good idea to bring distributors in. And then Alan stood up. And he didn't have much prepared, but he spoke about a vision for our group and what he saw. And his credibility as being a good humor operator and a longtime vendor quickly rallied all the historic vending companies. And on that day, we passed that motion thanks to Alan's passionate plea. And today, I don't think we would even be here but for that pivotal decision. These are moments in time that occur, a change is made, and we move on. But when you look back on it, you realize, well, what if we hadn't done that? What if Alan hadn't raised his hand, stood up, and made the case? I don't think we'd be here. I think we owe a tremendous debt of service to Alan, and I can't thank him enough. On a personal level, and I could give you other examples, where would we be without Alan's perpetual legal education and defense fund? I mean, a million examples of things that I don't think we'd be here without Alan. That's clear in my mind, but I think on a personal level, I want to thank Alan. He's been a brother to me. I love Alan. He's always taken me under his wing and mentored me, and I can't thank him enough, and I'm just glad I get a chance to honor him today. Thank you, Alan.
Good morning. Somebody this morning asked me, what are you going to say about Alan? I said, I didn't prepare anything, because when you talk about your brother, your friend, your mentor, you don't need notes. You can talk volume. Alan has been there for me, for every president that ever took the responsibility for this organization. Alan is always there for everybody, especially the new members. Please reach out to him. He is the wealth of knowledge. He is, with no condition, volunteer to do anything you need. He's a man of honor. He's a good brother. He's a good member. He's an inventor, and many, many other things. Alan, we love you.
It's my pleasure to call Mr. Alan Drazen.
You're right. Take this back. You're good. Thanks. I'm really humbled. You know, I'm really fortunate that, you know, going back about 40 years ago, you know, Jay invited me to come to this association, which was a completely different association than it is today. And along the way, you know, both Jay and Ken have been very supportive of me, lending a hand to try to perpetuate and grow the association and make it what it is today, which is, you know, really, when you looked around last night and saw probably 250 or more people interacting together, really enjoying each other's company. It's really been an amazing ride. We are stronger today than we've ever been, and I'm very proud, you know, for a little role that I played in that, because I really have enjoyed working with all of my fellow members to try to do, you know, the right thing to keep this association moving forward. I had a couple things, and I'm not going to take a lot of time because I know I appreciate, you know, that we have a full schedule today. I'm going to quote former U.S. President John Quincy Adams, who once said that if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, then you're truly a great leader. Well, I think that's a lot of what's come out of, you know, being a part of this association for me and for many others. But in particular, I'm really fortunate because I was inspired by Jay and then Kenny to dream more, to do more, to learn more, and to become more. And it's been an amazing, amazing ride. You know, Nick, when he opened up, referred to me as Mr. Choco Taco. You know, I'm proud that we of my accomplishment with a Choco Taco, but none of that could have been accomplished, that or all the other things that I feel like I've accomplished in my career, without Jay and Ken being very supportive of my creativity and freedom, you know, to kind of do my thing and be who I am. So I think that's allowed me to do more and to be more and be a better person. So I thank them. My wife and son left last night, but I have to mention them as well because they've been a great support mechanism, especially when I've traveled for the association or you know, just needed a little uplifting. And that's really about it. Thank you all. You know, I travel around the country. I have friends who I get to stay with or visit with wherever I go, and they're great friends. So to the board, you've done a great job. To the Hall of Fame committee, thank you so much for awarding me with this honor.
To my friends who were up here today and had some kind words to say about me, thank you all very much. And Bruce, awesome job. Keep it going. Thank you.
You know, I told the board last night, if anything goes right, you know, you can say thank you to me, and if anything goes wrong, see Alan. But all kidding aside, there's so much detail behind putting together and running this association, and we are fortunate to have people like Alan. You heard the comments. He travels. He's checking out with Amanda and Kim and Angie the hotels that we're going to be using in years from here, and he'll go in his own time. And I thank Kenny and Jay for providing Alan to do what he loves to do. So again, congratulations, Alan. It was our 50th anniversary, and we've done so much. We've come so far. And we thought, as a board, that it would be good to put together a little tribute video, which we're going to show you in another second. But this would not have happened if Steve Feldman and Jay Schwartz didn't step up and accept the assignment. Both of them past presidents, both of them Hall of Fame members, both of them great mentors to many in this industry, and both of them married up. My goodness. Elaine and Becky, thank you very much for sharing Steve and Jay. You guys were there with us too. And you know, I know not every great idea that Steve and Jay had was their own unique idea. They had to be listening intently to your views too, and thank goodness they did. But I'd like to share with you all our video.
Jay, in 73 when we met, association was really new. They were like, I think there were about like 30 members. There was no booths. It was still suit and tie all day long, but there were just very few people who were.
And then from there, we decided we were going to bring booths in, let people show their products, display their products, which was going to certainly add to the association. And it did. It brought in a lot of members, and today I don't know how many people we have coming every year, but I know it's increased dramatically.
We gave value. What we want to do is we want to create value for the association, for its membership. I remember it was suit and tie all day. Everybody smoked cigarettes, almost everybody, probably not Jay. The meetings went on all day long. We ate at night till about 10 o'clock at night drinking. It was completely different than it was now.
And I remember following guys like Doc Abernathy, Al Reynolds, Manny Ginsberg, following them around most of the day because I figured I could learn most from them, which I did. In those days, we didn't have any displays. There was no volleyball, no golf. It was really just total business all day.
I remember there were no women. There were no booths. There was no ice cream eating because we didn't have any. It was completely different.
You know, Manny, he loved Doc Abernathy. He loved Mickey Schwartz. Are you kidding me? He loved and respected Mickey. Everyone loved Mickey Schwartz. He just loved being in the room with people that were passionate about ice cream. And they went off to Kansas City. I think Doc Abernathy was looking to sell more Bomb Pops, and Manny was looking to sell more trucks. And you know, all of them just got together and they started sitting around the room thinking, talking about how to build on this industry. Build on an industry that's really part of Americana. And the industry was going to grow. They knew it was going to grow to be something more than it was. And it did. And so I love those stories.
Bringing our family to the association, we were able to brand our brand, which is Fruitiki Fruit Bars. So we are Big Boy Concessions, but we are also Fruitiki, and we were able to bring Fruitiki internationally. And we have, because of this association, we have been able to send our product to locations such as Oregon, Puerto Rico, further locations from where we're actually located. The networking is great, the people are great. I did attend the board for some time, and that was a great experience as well. So it really has grown us as a company, as a family, and actually we've grown our family because it's like a reunion every time that we come year after year.
Well, I think my dad came to the association, I'm going to say probably in about 77. And he brought me to my first meeting in 79. I recall that because I think Leo Gage was president at that time, and he gave me the official job of getting beer in the cooler and bringing it to the beach volleyball tournament. And I remember Leo and the beach volleyball for sure.
When I think of the association, I actually think that name, for me, is a bit of a misnomer, because for me, I think they should change the name from association to family, because how it's benefited me is the association is really like a family of extended friends and extended family. And the main reason I like to come to the annual convention is just to see how my friends are doing. So they might want to consider changing that, because this is really like an extended family.
Doc was a guy that was here right from the beginning, and he was the guy that traveled all over the country. And with his bomb pops in those days, it was just, it hit home, and it allowed us to grow as a company, and it also allowed us to sell products at an additional price, because it was a 5-ounce bar, and it was the first big bar that we had ever seen. It was a tremendous boost for the association.
But he was his idea originally to be able, and as he told it was his idea, he was going to invite all these people into Kansas City at their own expense to sell them bomb pops. And he did it, and they all came in. And that's how the association started. He was brilliant.
He was. We went out to dinner at night, jacket and tie. A lot of drinking, a lot of smoking, and that was really how it started at the beginning.
All we talked about was business.
Business all day.
Well, the effect of association has been phenomenal for me personally and for my business. You know, over the years coming here, meeting so many wonderful people, so many legends of the industry, learning from them, even getting a few minutes at a time, it's been enormous for me. Learning how to network, and learning how to listen and understand how some of these people which we step on their shoulders to get where we are, and hopefully I like to do the same thing they did for me, for other people that are newcomers to our association.
The association is better for me and my company because we have the opportunity to see new products every year. We have an opportunity to network and really just, you know, be involved in the industry as a whole. And I think that that has had the largest impact for us.
This association affected me in many ways. I have always believed in belonging to a professional association, and throughout my other endeavors I was a part of a professional association. Specifically this association, which I have been a member since 1990 for 28 years, has brought me a lot of knowledge and made me a lot of business friends and personal friends, and I hope to attend the next 25 years.
Some of the individuals that really stand out from the beginning, and some of the companies, well, some of the individuals, Manny Ginsberg, definitely, of International Mobiles. He had the ability to get financing for brand new trucks that really helped us out. And of course, Al Reynolds.
And I'll have to say Jim Roberts who has helped this association. Without him, I don't know if we'd still be around today, to be quite honest with you. He's handled a lot of major cases for us and small little cases in different cities, which has really helped us, and basically for free.
How about, you had two companies. If it wasn't for two companies anyway, the Wells Blue Bunny, which came out of Merritt Foods, and Good Humor Corporation, which was Unilever, with the backing and their financial aid, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here at all. We wouldn't have had the funds to be able to sustain.
We were really in a great position with Wells to open our ears and our eyes to this business and listen to the people that really, such as yourself and Steve Feldman and Ali Pakravan, Tom Renwald, all of these longtime vending distributors who really knew what this business needed and really allowed us the opportunity to be responsive to those needs and to continually respond to the needs and form partnership and really become a leading supplier to the mobile business because we listened and responded and produced the types of products people wanted. So that has been an outgrowth of the association. It's been an outgrowth of this network that we love to be a part of, and it's been very good business for us as people have grown their business and diversified. So it's been a terrific marriage.
The association brings so much to your organization if you're open-minded, and the biggest advantage is your networking ability. Where else in the world can you come to an organization or an association and meet some of the biggest players that are out there selling ice cream? So I can gain knowledge from these individuals that no college could have ever taught me. So I can learn at a much faster rate. I can avoid all the mistakes that they possibly made, so I don't have to remake those same mistakes. So it's an open forum. Everyone is very generous and giving, and there's nothing really that they try to hide or deny from you. If you're willing to ask and you want to grow the organization, they're always here to help you.
So being a member of IAICDV Association has been really beneficial for both myself and my company. For me personally, coming into this industry 3 years ago, not knowing much about the segment or the category, it was really helpful for me to meet with the suppliers, understand trends that were impacting the category, and quite honestly, I get a chance to really meet with a lot of the people that were helping to grow our business. From a business perspective, the value we get from these sessions and these conventions are invaluable. It's a great chance for us to showcase innovation, a great chance to talk about opportunities as well as challenges that we're having in the business with our customers and our partners.
What I miss is seeing the kids run out of their house and coming to the trucks. As I remember it as a young guy, my kids coming out, my dog coming out, everybody coming out to line up to get ice cream.
When I started out in the business by driving an ice cream truck for the Good Humor Corporation. The ice cream back then, they were running at 16% butterfat content. And they changed from 16%, they went down to 14%, to 12%, to 10.5%. Now you might not have been able to tell the difference between 16 and 14, but you could definitely tell from 16 to 10.5. So the taste was different, it was completely different. They had so many items that were unique at that time.
Well, the future for our association actually starts here and now. I mean, we've been together as a group for 50 years, learning and pushing each other and pulling and getting knocked down and getting back up. And we've seen players come and go, and we've seen changes in business. I mean, it's incredible. We've sold tens of millions of dozen ice cream bars, tens of millions of dozens of ice cream. And we're going to continue to do that by being creative and innovative, finding new ways to to reach new consumers on the go, along the way. Here they are. We're going to find them, and we're going to satisfy their needs with frozen dessert products. There's going to be more innovation. We're so lucky to have Good Humor Breyers Unilever, Nestle, Mars, Blue Bunny, Wells Blue Bunny. I mean, look what they've done. There are others, and I shouldn't even list them because I'll forget, but there are many in our industry that have invested into innovation that have helped us, giving us great products to sell to the consumers and to find other channels to sell these products in. And that's how we've made a living. You know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and Jay and many of our other founders that really instilled in us a belief that we could become our own independent business people selling beautiful ice cream products to consumers throughout the country, in fact, throughout the world. So Steve, thank you. Jay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All the founding members are gone by now. We lost quite a few others. So there's been a lot of change and there's been a lot to remember.
It's become a great association, and to all the people out in the audience there, you have to take credit for everything you've done. It's because of everybody chipping in. I think that it's made this association what it is, and it's why we're here today.
Thank you again, Steve Feldman, Jay Schwartz, and everyone else who participated in making that video. We have some distinguished guests amongst us that we'd love to recognize right now and ask them to come to the podium. Earl Barish, Leo Gage, Steve Feldman. Come on up. Bob Holder. Did we see Bob in the audience? Bob couldn't make it. Carl Long. Thomas Renwald Sr. Leo, come on up. Jim Roberts. Jay Schwartz. Ginger Shane. Where's Ginger? You know, at a time when it was a male board and a male association, back in the 60s, they were smart enough to recognize Ginger Shane and made her the first president. She was the first female president of any association in this country. She's with us here today as well. So come on in. And last but certainly not least, our dear friend, and one of the, you know, every one of these wonderful people have played a huge role in our association, but Eric Walsh, who, come on up, Jim. Eric Walsh came across the pond, landed with a company that was called Good Humor. He came over from Unilever and proceeded to grow that company into a multi-billion-dollar company. And along the way, you know, there were a lot of big trade association, customer groups that would want the big suppliers, Unilever, Nestle, Wells Blue Bunny, to come to their show, the NAC show or the National Restaurant Show. But, you know, we were so fortunate that those leaders of those companies, those great companies, would come to our show, and they would listen to constructive criticism and to opportunities, and then take those back into their organizations to address the needs of our industry. And Eric, he never missed a show. He never missed one time to join us, I think 17 years in a row. So on behalf of all of us, I'd like to recognize these very special people.
You working? Alan, all I can say about you, once a friend like you, you've always got the best man that there is out there to do the work.
We have past presidents, we have Hall of Fame members, we have dear friends, and again, thank you all for being here. And while we were lucky enough to have many of our good friends here, we unfortunately have some that aren't here that have passed. So we call for a moment of silence for our great friends who are hopefully in a better place. Thank you. If you want to see that video, there are cards which can give you the link to that video, and there's a lot of other footage that was taken last year, this year. Please get a card, download it, and you can use it for your own company purposes. It's free, doesn't cost anything. The association has it, and you can get these cards which give you links to where to go at the registration booth. I'd like to call Eduardo to the podium for the Employee Recognition Award.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Hello, everybody. What an exciting time to be here. 50 years is easy to say, but I've been fortunate enough to be involved in this association through our company for the last 10 years or a little bit more. I don't even know, but it feels, every year it feels like it's, like someone says, kind of like a family reunion. So this is a great place for us to share ideas, to meet with customers, meet with friends, meet with competitors as well. And it's a great opportunity. And so we decided some years ago to start looking at, how do we recognize people that are behind in the office? A lot of us are here, a lot of our family members are here, but there are people back in our offices that are making a difference, especially in this business, in the bending business, in the distribution business. So the board was very supportive in creating this award that we started to do, and we continue to sponsor. So this year, we looked at a lot of members, a lot of you guys submitted nominations, and again I encourage you to continue to recognize your employees internally. But we had to select one person for this specific award, and again I represent Great Dane. Great Dane has been in the industry for over 80 years, doing specifically what we're doing today, which is listening to your needs, understanding what makes you successful, and hopefully provide something and manufacture something that you can use in your business. So without further ado, I want to introduce this year's winner of the recognition award. Her name is Beatriz Cordova, and Beatriz she has a natural ability to sell ice cream to all of her mobile vendor customers. And through customer relationships, through contact, she's been able to double the business in the area where she works. And I'm gonna ask John here in a minute to come up and say a few more words. But again, it's been through her tenacity and customer service that, again, this business is kind of sometimes, it's not like insurance where you have to buy it, right? So you just gotta, people have to just trust you. People have to you have to follow up on things, and this is one thing that Beatriz has been able to do, and this is why she was recognized among all other people for this year's winners of this recognition award. So again, I want to call up Beatriz and John. John, you want to come up here from Transcold, and she's based here in Southern California. She's also attending a community college here in Rancho Cucamonga. But she's been working for John full time, and like I said, she's been able to double the business of vending just with her relationships and customer service. John?
Morning, Alan. Congratulations again. Award well deserved. My name is John Coughlin, as if you didn't know, from Transco Distribution. First of all, I want to thank the board for having such this award. I think is very prestigious. It shows great recognition to the people that are really behind our business, and that's our employees. It helps them to get talking about the IAICDV. You know, when we put up the offer of scholarships, or the board puts up offer of scholarships and employee awards and stuff like that. On the other hand, this is not necessarily about Transco, but about Beatriz. Beatriz has been with us for nearly 2.5 years. Quite possibly one of the only employees that I've seen in her role that ever turned around and said, I don't like talking to people on the telephone anymore, I need to go visit them. So I think part of her success in increasing the business for sure was she went out to her distributors in Southern California and had a one-to-one face meeting with them. And when you have such a pretty young lady come into your office like this, you're going to buy all the ice cream you can to keep her happy, right? Okay, so I'll leave it over to Beatriz. Beatriz, congratulations. Say something, say thank you.
I just want to thank God for the opportunity, for the board members, Mr. John Coughlin, Melissa, Curtis. He's not here today, but thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.